Hi, welcome to SentinelOne Singularity XDR Platform Technical Overview session. My name is Mohamed Morad. I'm the Principal SE in the Middle East and Africa region in SentinelOne. In this presentation, I aim to convey why SentinelOne should be your top choice of all your endpoints and cloud workload security needs. Our technology is designed to provide prevention, detection, response, and visibility for organizations of all sizes. First, we will discuss the storyline with Active EDR, the foundation of SentinelOne technology. Then we will go over the different components of Singularity XDR platform. The first component, which is the core, which includes the protection and recovery, control, complete, IoT discovery and control, Kubernetes managed cloud workloads, and MDR, which is our SOC assist services, Nexus integration, and the powerful API platform that we have, and finally the S1 third-party validation and compliance. So we will start with the storyline and Active EDR. And when we talk about the low and slow attacks, certainly aren't going out of style. However, we are increasingly seeing adversaries using multi-technique automation to bulldoze through defenses. These attacks are designed to unfold in seconds and spread laterally at high velocity. Old schools antiviruses and EDR systems that rely on cloud analytics and human analysis are simply too slow and do little to hold these attacks before it is too late. SentinelOne solves the attack velocity problem with our patent storyline and Active EDR technologies. So imagine a related set of processes, good or bad, as a thread or storyline. We track every thread in this story as it unfolds in real time at the endpoint, and we maintain all of these processes relationship through the storyline. Storyline becomes the contextual super glue we use throughout our platform. As a storyline tracks code in real time, SentinelOne Active EDR applies machine learning-based behavioral scoring to all events. In this case, we see storyline beginning to perform all sorts of evil. And Active EDR has already determined this story must be terminated because it exceeds the bounds of what the agent considers to be normal. Storyline inherently tracks the root cause from the beginning through to what is happening right now. And the attack storyline has been surgically removed and normal operations continue. And storyline and Active EDR are core to the SentinelOne platform technologies and are available for Windows and Mac and Linux, as well as for containerized cloud workloads. The endpoint agent itself mitigates the attacks in moments, which is far faster than any cloud analytics or human-based system could ever hope for. And as you can see, here, the endpoint agent itself mitigates the attack in moments. And it can present the whole story, whatever it is related, or even if there is unrelated events, the agent, by its behavioral analysis, it can correlate and can analyze the different types of attacks and create the story behind it. So what is Singularity Platform? SentinelOne continues its innovation of on-agent runtime protection logic in order to provide faster automated protection and response capabilities. Our technology has always been a cloud-managed solution with heavy emphasizing on the other vendor integration via comprehensive API. The innovation continues as we further enhance our solution in the form of Singularity XDR. Singularity XDR is an endpoint cloud hybrid protection platform that combines telemetry, contextual decision-making capabilities, and enforcement. Let's look at each one. Telemetry arises from the endpoint, containerized workloads, intelligence clouds, and your integrated products. This telemetry is in the form of endpoint protection data, EDR data, IoT, and network asset data, intelligence, and directory information. Contextualized data is processed by the endpoint side as well as in the cloud. For example, intelligence sources and active responses watch lists. The results of the decision includes actions taken by the endpoint agent and its enforcement capabilities, as well as the triggers sent to integrated products. Since Singularity XDR is SentinelOne's approach to extending endpoint protection, detection, and response, and visibility to each customer's ecosystem. The Singularity data lake is fully mineable and exportable to other data lakes. So let's dive into the details. And the first one we would like to start with is the core, which is the basis of our agent side technology that unifies prevention, detection, and response for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Our technology features fully autonomous code that is equally effective online and offline, which is so important today with the disappearance of the traditional perimeter. So no matter where the device or server is, and regardless of its internet connectivity, the agent evaluates attacks and automatically responds to protection. Forget signatures updates, because core is your AD replacement that analyzes files with a static artificial intelligence and machine learning before they execute. And for other types of attacks, we leverage our storyline and active EDR behavioral technology, as we mentioned previously. Core also offers a fully customizable dashboard, which view with detailed forensics and live data with an easy pivoting to EDR visibility data available with SentinelOne Complete. What makes Core different from other products on the market is that the SentinelOne protects in an age when high velocity attacks that do their damage in few seconds outpace human analysis and cloud analytics. Our technology evaluates attacks in real time at the endpoint and leverages machine learning to accomplish this. It is like having a SOC level 1 analyst at each endpoint doing the heavy lifting analysis and immediate response for you. And customers love our administrative console, the user interface with its straightforward, clean design and simple workflows. Our system is built with multi-tenant, multi-site capabilities and support giant multinational organizations down to small companies. And that offers key functionality across all major OSs. Now, the SentinelOne Core endpoint is providing also the recovery, which is the basic EDR, the endpoint detection and response. So we have to provide response actions. So let's say a box is attacked and active EDR automatically kills the evil. And the question comes after that is, how do you recover? So SentinelOne's technology allows for a quick, painless recovery without the need for endless re-imaging. SentinelOne differentiates itself from its competitors in several ways. You can say that the storyline, which tracks the context of everything on the box, therefore it knows what to undo, bringing your box back to its pre-attack baseline. Unlike some of the other products out there, remediation and rollback are either fully automatic or one button click. And it's completely done by the agent on the endpoint without any external dependencies. And it can be completely automated, or it can be done manually. So with the Core, you have the ability to isolate and triage the devices as needed. We differentiate by not throwing tons of alerts at you or any security analyst, but instead we provide a 3D forensics page for each incident that helps you understand what happened and when, with links into our divisibility threat hunting tool, should you want to look further. With these features, you will find less need to re-image machines and less overall operational work. No one else, to be honest, in the industry has this technology. It saves a lot of time and headache, and it's very super easy tool. When we come to our second delivery, which is the control, and In your quest to eliminate unnecessary endpoint agents, we offer SentinelOne Control that adds important functions that enable administrative control over local firewall policies, USB and Bluetooth low energy hardware, patching alerts, full remote shell, and application inventory. Control is the same agent and builds on top of core, and SentinelOne sets itself apart by orchestrating Windows, Mac OS and Linux OS firewalls. By not restricting administrators by what they can do inside of a remote shell for Windows, Mac, and Linux OSs, and by providing a facility to control Bluetooth, low energy, and all forms of USB devices, each of which are often overlooked attack vectors for Windows and Mac. And one of the key delivery that we provide is the complete license and complete features, which is the endpoint detection and response, the complete EDR or the advanced EDR. It's often overwhelming and difficult to use the normal EDRs, but when we talk about SentinelOne, it's completely different story. So normal EDR is really overwhelming and really difficult to use. It's having a lot of alerts, too much data, too little context. In contrast, when we compare it to SentinelOne's divisibility, the EDR, which is part of the complete, it provides actionable, and this is the most important part, actionable context in an easy to use with user interface. SentinelOne Complete is utilizing the same agent to provide enterprise EDR visibility for Windows, Macintosh, and Linux. And Kubernetes as well, which is something that we see these days usually in the customer environment, the containerized workloads. No additional installed code is necessary. The visibility will provide you will provide the SOC, the threat hunters, the incident responders with full featured investigative tool. The visibility is easier to use, and StoryLine is the underlying technology that helps you understand root cause analysis in one pivot, saving you time and trial and errors. The StoryLine Context Builder reassembles all process IDs relationships automatically. No more PID walking, which is, if you work in forensics, you will find it very heavy process to correlate manually the processes running on the system, but that one will be done automatically by the agent. We all know that the adversaries lay low for weeks and months whenever possible. S1 Complete on the other side provides 30 days of historical EDR data out of the box and affordably scaled to 365 days if you require it. SentinelOne has merged the EPP and EDR, and as a result, the divisibility function is really just as a part of the prevention component code base. Therefore, the agent is not only a data telemetry sensor and that's it. No, it's not. It's also an enforcement point. So lastly, when you find something suspicious, simply mark the whole story as a threat, and active EDR commands the agents to mitigate. And the agent has the whole responsibility to do the rest of the job, from the analysis, remediation, and recovery. SentinelOne Complete scales massively to perform well, whether you have 200 or 200,000 computers in your environment. So my favorite part comes next, which is how the agent works inside the endpoint. Simply, when we try to explain how the agent works, we simplify it by dividing the stages of the protection and prevention and the response into 3 stages. The first stage, we call it the static or the pre-execution stage. The pre-execution is going to cover anything comes to your endpoint before it is executed, during and after writing the files into your system. So when you try to download something from internet, from a USB, from any external sources, if you try to create a file in your system, before it is written And after it is written to your disk system, it's going to be analyzed by the agent on the endpoint. And all of that is done inside the endpoint. That is going to utilize the artificial intelligence and machine learning, static file analysis and algorithms and models to analyze these codes and these files to find if there is any malicious characteristics inside it. And in a very quick detection, it's going to decide if this thing, either it is malicious or even suspicious. So sometimes there is suspicious files that doesn't reveal all of its behaviors or all of its characteristics. So the agent will decide that this is suspicious files, and you have the option to either block it or leave it on your system. But even if you left the file on your system to run, during the execution of the file, it's going to, the agent, the SentinelOne agent, is going to analyze all the behaviors, not only from the user mode, from the kernel mode, and it's going to correlate all of these actions and behaviors and the artifacts changes on your system, and it's going to decide if this behavior belongs to a normal or suspicious or even malicious attack. And it has the ability to immediately, in a real time, kill the attack and prevent the continuation of the attack execution. But that's not all. So something ran in your system and something needs to be done in your system to get it back completely clean before the attack happened, which is going to be provided by the agent with a feature called remediation. And this is a real-time powered by behavioral AI remediation task. So kill and quarantine is one of the response actions that we can take. One-click cleanup, it can be a manual decision, or it can be completely automated by the endpoint agent to do complete cleanup and getting the system back to the previous state before the attack happened. Also, we have the option to roll back to restore back the damaged data. Any data that has been damaged, changed, or anything is going to be remediated and roll back. You can disconnect also the machine from the network, which means that you can isolate the machine. You can stop the attack to spread laterally inside your environment, and you can also stop the attack to continue communicating with the CNC servers and attacking servers in the internet. But at the same time, you as the SentinelOne management server and the administrator sitting behind the management server still have access to the endpoint, even that it was completely isolated from the network side. There is also local firewall control and device control that it can also enhance the controlling and protection of the endpoint. And finally, the anti-tampering feature, which is allowing SentinelOne to be strong defending any type of attacks that comes to SentinelOne itself and protect itself from the unneeded administrative actions on the SentinelOne. So APP and EDR completely from the central and the SentinelOne agent running on the endpoint, but that's not all. At the same time, we provide the advanced EDR, which is the visibility threat hunting capability and response actions that you can do with it. So the threat hunting and watch lists with fast queries, highly scalable, single pivot storyline built in with the storyline. So even when you search for something, when you try to hunt for something, with one click, you can rebuild the story that happened behind that query and behind that parameter that you were searching for. So for example, if you were searching for a specific IP or a specific file name or even a specific user, you can understand exactly what was the story behind these kind of executions. Why this IP has been accessed, why this file has been opened or modified or deleted. And you can find the whole story in a matter of seconds. And all of that done because of the behavioral AI, behavioral artificial intelligence and machine learning agent running inside the endpoint itself without any external dependencies to either cloud or human-based. The beauty also here in the divisibility threat hunting, it's all of it are MITRE attack TTP integrated or familiar with. So it has the MITRE attack TTP tactics, techniques, and procedures monitored or mapped to it. So all of the events that you are searching for, it's going to be mapped with the MITRE attack TTP. Another feature that we are providing in our solution, it's called Ranger IoT. Ranger is a device discovery, or sorry, network discovery and control. So one of the questions that we usually ask is, do you have a complete knowledge of what is connected to your network? That's a very important question when it comes to understanding your environment, knowing your vulnerability inside your network. IoT or Internet of Things device growth is exploding, and customers need to know exactly all devices, not only the famous network devices available in our networks, but all devices connected in our networks. So SentinelOne's Ranger is a cloud-enabled IoT discovery and control. Ranger is part of that same agent. It's the same agent running inside your endpoint, and it uses passive and active scanning to figure out what is connected and where it is connected. So SentinelOne's IoT discovery is highly differentiated from its competitors. Because IoT data is fed to the same data lakes as the EDR data, divisibility can help you answer the question, and this is one of the questions that can be answered, is like, are my IP cameras talking to my server farm in the middle of the night? Some abnormal behaviors happen between IoT devices and normal servers or workstations in specific time. You need to have a question to be answered like that. If the answer is yes, you can leverage our agent firewall control to effectively isolate these cameras or any other rogue devices, which means Ranger is not a passive, but it's also active discovery and control, providing not just the discovery, controlling over your network. Another also delivery that we provide with the same agent is the Kubernetes Cloud Work Agent. That same agent understands the Kubernetes managed cloud workloads. So when you are ready for the huge shift to Kubernetes managed cloud workloads, we are ready also to support you with the continuous integration and continuous delivery to that service or to that product. SentinelOne protects your auto-scaling container nodes without directly interfering with them. We differ here in how we analyze and mitigate threats in real time, which is important because containers aren't immune to 0 days. No other vendor protects containers in real time as we do. Plus, we also capture valuable EDR data to provide actionable context in real time. Again, this is unique to SentinelOne. All Kubernetes node agents are managed alongside all of your other SentinelOne protected agents using single global console and it's one pane of glass for everything. Vigilance MDR on the other side, which is the managed detection and response service that we provide it to our customers. So some customers operate fully staffed security operations centers, or SOC for short. Others have 1 or 2 individuals responsible for security. So SentinelOne offers vigilance in this case, our managed detection and response service that provides for customers that want a helping hand. Think of vigilance as the SOC assist. Vigilance MDR is an optional service, unlike other vendors who require you to purchase their MDR in order to their products to be effective. In our case, it's just optional to provide you a help on top of the, of course, what the product is delivering. Integration, and when SentinelOne came to the market, we know exactly the need to let all the customers' security ecosystem work together, all. So we understand the need that we need our solution to be open to integrations. And we have, our system is completely designed to be open to integrations with more than 300 plus API functions open to the integration and to also customization from the customer side. So SentinelOne's integration hub includes a single bi-directional API with over 300 functions, as we said, making it possible to integrate with almost all enterprise applications. Today, we have 40 plus partners, including Splunk, QRadar, Slack, ServiceNow, Power BI, Palo Alto Networks, Joe Sandbox, and many others. If you look at this slide, you can see exactly what I mean by the capability of the integration. Integration with IT ops, with orchestration, with firewall, with cyber services, other cyber services, threat intelligence platforms, tips, and simply, solution is completely supporting the API integration. You can integrate with any other solution. Even more than integration with a solution, you can customize how and what do you need to extract from the solution. So for example, if you have a specific scenario that you want to analyze for, you can customize that using the API as well. We also provide the Nexus SDK, which is a portable version of our core machine learning engine. And customers and partners plug our code into their custom code when they need to identify malware fast and without signatures. You can see here that because of the Nexus SDK, we can extend our protection and our artificial intelligence capabilities to analyze other devices or other nodes in your system, like the NAS storage with the ICAP and RPC, web farm, USB scanner sticks, embedded devices, and others. Okay, so now we are going to present our solution in a demo. And here I'm going to demonstrate how the product works in a simulated APT type of attack. And that will be APT 29. So I'm using here, as you can see, the attack kill chain to simulate the attack sequence of actions. You can see the general execution, the exploitation, the post-exploitation, evasion, persistence, privilege escalation, and injection, and which is going to be very similar to a normal APT type of attack. And we are going to present here the same APT in our demo. Remember that I will put in my policy the detection only, which means that I can do a real-time prevention, but I want to present in worst case, if an attack successfully happened in my machine, what is my capability that I have to interact, to defend and respond to that attack. So I'm going to show you the real-time detection and prevention, and also the remediation and recovery. And always think with any endpoint security protection solution, always think about the worst case. What if something happened in my system? Nobody can provide 100% protection. This is a very famous security phrase. Nobody can promise 100% protection. In the worst case, what's going to happen, or what is the capabilities that I have to respond to this attack? Okay, so I'm going to jump to the demo environment. And here I can see the login screen. So I'm going to, and I'm using two-factor authentication. So I have to use the username and password and the token. which we do support. And we have integration also with Active Directory and other services for the authentication. Now, if you look at the SentinelOne from the console side, you will understand that it's supporting the multi-tenancy. You can have sites, accounts, groups inside sites. If you have multiple sites, you can create multiple accounts on multiple sites, and you can assign roles for each site, which means we support the role-based access control. So with RBAC, we can have multiple administrators with specific privileges for each one. In the main page, you can see the dashboard, which is customizable dashboard. We know that we have multiple teams and each team has its own scope to look at every day. So for SOC team, different than IR, different than others, so they can see what are the actions they need to take based on their interests. So you can customize here based either on the threats, Ranger, the rogues, the applications, the miscellaneous tasks, and of course that is all customizable. The second page that it's very important to start with is the Sentinels tab, which is going to show you your endpoints and the policies. The policies side in my lab here is that it's in detection mode only. As I said, I don't want to stop the attack in the beginning. I want to let it run freely. So I put my detection in, or my policy in detection mode only, although I can do the protection here. And when you select the protect, you can do a real-time killing quarantine, remediation, automatic rollback. In my case, I'm not going to do automatic remediation. I'm not going to allow my agent to automatically decide by itself to remediate or rollback. I'm going to do it manually. Also, you have the option to automatically disconnect the machine from the network. Something good about SentinelOne is that all of the actions that you can do it automatically, you can do it also manually, and vice versa. You can do the things manually, you can also do it automatically. All my engines are running. It's a single agent with multiple capabilities and multiple features, which is you can enable or disable whatever the feature that you want. This is the static AI, our main agent capability, and this is behavioral AI, which is the second main capability in our agent. This is the behavioral analysis, the behavioral artificial intelligence regarding executables or documents or scripts or lateral movement analysis or memory anti-exploitation and fileless, which is going to protect us from 0 days types of attacks, application control, and also detecting interactive threats. All right, so, and of course you can see here the firewall control from the network control and device control, which you can use it for protecting your machine by allowing or disallowing specific devices to connect to your system. All right, so right now, I'm going to start my endpoint. So that's my endpoint. Let me put it on. And just to show you, I'm going to use, in order to simulate the APT attack, I'm going to use the Kali. And let me put it also here. Okay, so until Windows is starting, I'm going to show you my Kali machine. Right now I have some modules. And in order to do the simulation, I created a script to organize my tasks that I'm going to do in my endpoint. So right now, I'm going to run. Let's do it. Check that both machines are in the same network. Here. Okay, so right now I'm running the Metasploit. I have a script where I organize this into a specific manner or in a specific sequences of the attack. As we saw in the slide, I have the general exploitation, post-exploitation types of attacks, evasion types of attacks like registry keys, created some persistence techniques, privilege escalations, and injection. Right now, my machine is not having any attack. Let me resize it. Okay, so right now I'm going to connect my USB. That's USB is connected. There is a malicious file that I uploaded. This malicious file is very obfuscated. It's very compacted. It's not going to show anything. And actually, I'm going to rename it. And let's say this is just for our analysis to be easy to detect. So I'm going to put it here in the desktop. So it's coming from a USB, but I copied it and changed the name into and copied it into desktop. Now I'm going to let it run. I need to check again that I'm connected to the same network. So yes, so 172.16.26. All right, so I have the agent running. Everything is clean, no detection so far. And then I'm going to execute the document. While I'm executing the document, you can see that there is a connection happen, and at the same time, SentinelOne detected that attack. So again, my policy was detect only. I don't want to stop it. So if my policy was protection, it's going to immediately kill and quarantine that attack. But look at the system right now. My machine is running, the word is running, execution of the attack happened. I don't see, from a user perspective, I don't see any malicious behavior happen. It's just a Word document, and that's it. In my attacking server, I'm going to jump from one process to another. So right now I did the exploitation. I need to do other stuff. Usually after exploitation is like an entry point. Once I entered to the system, I gained privilege, I exploited the system, I have control. Now I need to do some other tasks. So the second thing that I want to do is to process migration. Why process migration? I don't want to still attacking Word. Right now I'm using Word, but I don't want to attack Word anymore. I want to be persistent in your system. The second thing is I need to gain more privileges by using the bypassing of the user access control. Before going to that point, I'm still waiting to jump or to elevate my privilege using the bypassing of USC. I want to show you in SentinelOne what happened. Right now you can see that my machine is red. That means it's under an attack. And if you go to the incidents here today, you can see that there is the apt test.docm. There are other two files came at the same time after, or attacked at the same time after I ran the document file. If I open that document file in the overview, because it's the main page, we need to alert you with the things happen in your system. So we can show you that there is a shellcode execution happened, and there is also a Metasploit stager ran on your system. So it's connecting to the CNC server. And you can see also some injection happen and some post-exploitation. You remember that I did a code or a process migration, and that is the code injection to another remote process. All right, so if you need more details, you can do that from the Explorer page. You can see here, this is the detail page where you can see some network actions happen, some files, processes, and other indicators. And also the MITRE attack framework map data is there. Also, it's in the overview section. So if you click on that part, you can see it's going to open to you attack MITRE framework, and it's going to explain more details about that. Okay, we can close that. By the way, I can take an action right now. I can do the mitigation. It's not done automatically because of my policy. I can do it manually, but I'm not going to do it right now. I want you to see how the page and SentinelOne is updating the detection in real time. So right now, I'm going to bypass the USC. And I want to minimize the word. I want to minimize the Windows machine just to show you here the update. So right now I'm going to update this. And it's going to bypass the USC. And you can see that this page is updating. And I'm waiting for, yes, so right now the USC is updated. At the same time, the page is updated with the detection. So attempt to bypass the USC. It doesn't matter what kind of attack is happening, it is analyzing it. It's analyzing it, it's showing to you in real time what are the things that's being detected. All right, so here I'm going to jump to another attack stage, which I want to gain system level credentials and I need to get persistence. So I'm going to do that. And here I'm trying to run a service. So this service is going to run whenever you start your system. So whenever you start, even Microsoft Word is now not needed. And actually I can come here. By the way, you can see here the persistence via service is updated in SentinelOne. If I go to that system, I can close Word, I don't need it, and the attack is running, right? So I can see from here, my sensitive data can be accessed by the attacker. And this is actually the step that I'm going to do. And this is a normal step from all APT types of attacks. They need to do something on your endpoint. They need to steal information. They need to damage your systems in order to let the attack completely happen on your endpoint. So this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do a data exfiltration. And finally, and after I exfiltrate these data, I'm going to copy, and you can see that I copied all of these data, downloading it. And finally, I want to damage, I want to harm the endpoint by deleting these files and by deleting user files. And data is gone. The attack seems to be completed, but actually it is not. And this is a very important point you have to remember. If something that is being detected and completed in the action, you still have to assume that the attacker is still having an access to my endpoint, which is, this is what we have right now. So I can come here and I can see that I still have sessions in my system. I still have 3 sessions, 2 of them with a high privilege. So I can connect to one of them, which is session 3. And now I'm in session while you can see all the commands that you can do. I can do hash dump, for example. And I get the hashes of the administrator. I still can do lots of things on the endpoint. Even that I completed my attacks, I finished, I did the privilege escalation, the persistence, the evasion, the post-exploitation, I still have access to that endpoint. I can do whatever I want in the future, right? So my second thing, or my main thing here in SentinelOne is I need to have control over the endpoint. I need to get it back. Not just getting the endpoint back to me, but I needed to get it back in a clean state. So I'm going to take an action to mitigate. Now, the mitigation response, and this is one of the unique features in SentinelOne, is that we don't just kill the attack, because, okay, that's very important, but that's not the only thing that I need to. I need also to remediate the system. I need to get it back clean, because if I kill the attacker knows my password now, and he can come back again and again and again. He can use the same vulnerabilities that I have. So I need to remediate my system. I need to make it protected, right? So if I do remediation, I stop the attack, I clean my system, but unfortunately my data has been deleted. In SentinelOne, we have this unique feature to roll back, to restore the files, the damaged files back to the previous state before the attack happened. So I'm going to do the rollback. I want to use my verdict, which is a true positive. This is a true positive for the attack. And then I can apply. By the way, usually I recommend before doing any action to isolate this endpoint by going and disconnect this machine, isolating this endpoint, analyze the case, see what are the needed actions that you need to do, and do it. Now, I'm going to do the rollback. I'm going to do the analysis verdict as true positive. You can add your notes. So this is an APT simulated attack, because I know this is just my APT simulation, so I can put my notes here, so the other analysts can understand the case background, and I'm going to apply. So when I apply, you can see my note is updated. I have to kill the attack, and when I go to the endpoint, you can see that the endpoint, I think the endpoint is restored because of the updates, so it happened at the same time. But here, right now, is I'm going to kill, quarantine, remediate, and roll back the endpoints. Let's wait until the restart is done. By the way, restart is something different than what we are doing, just happened at the same time. One of the good things that we can present it right now is that even the reboot doesn't affect our actions. We can remediate, we can restore back the damaged files, even that it happened before a start of a machine. You can see here that the kill is being done, quarantine, remediation, and rollback is still working. If I go to sensitive data, it's still not restored back, so I'm waiting for the quarantine, remediation, and rollback. I can actually also refresh. It's still working. We go back to threats. We can select here. Still, you can select all of them and do the rollback. Now I restored back all my damaged data. You can see that. And you can see also that the main file, the document file was quarantined, even that the attack is more complicated other than that file. I jumped from one file to another process, but at the same time, the agent was able to correlate all these events using the behavioral artificial intelligence agent, and it's succeeding on remediating it. So if you open the Explorer, we can see that it has a lot of actions done. And for example, you can see here it jumped from one process to another, to fault helper service, to another PowerShell. And even in the PowerShell, if you click on it, you can see the whole script that ran by the attacker. From the PowerShell, you can see other processes happened in the backend. You can see that there is a compilation of another code. That it's very solid in terms of detecting and analyzing all the behaviors. Even if it is happening from different places on the system, it has the full visibility, not on the user mode only, it's also in the kernel mode and kernel analysis, and it provides you the best protection that you need. Even rootkits, something that it's attacking the kernel, it's having the protection over it. So that is a simulation of and a demonstration of a full APT type of an attack. It's simulating APT 29 in this case, and you can see different stages of the attack has been detected, remediated. In the worst case, if something successfully happened on your endpoint, you have full visibility and full control and capability to remediate and restore back the damaged data on your system. Thank you for attending with us this presentation and demo, and I'm very welcome to get your questions back. Thank you.